Good morning, friends. I, Sandeep Sharma, welcome you in the next class of solid state. Today we are starting with the another term used in solid state, and it is known as packing efficiency. Now, to understand packing efficiency, let's see this diagram. We know that in solid state particles are as close as possible. They are in fact in contact with each other. Still you can see this space because of spherical shape, this space which is unoccupied by particles. Now this particular we can express with the heading with the term known as packing efficiency. So suppose packing efficiency of a substance of a solid is 74%, like FCC, face centered unit cell has packing efficiency 74%. This means 74% volume of the unit cell is occupied by particles and remaining 26% is void or vacancies. This free space are known as either void or vacancies or holes. You can also say them as interstitial sites. Packing efficiency can be defined as it is fraction of volume of unit cell, or it is the fraction of volume of solid which is occupied by lattice point, and it can be calculated by formula. It is volume of lattice point divided by volume of unit cell into 100. This is percentage packing efficiency. So I repeat, there are some unoccupied space in the solid, and this unoccupied space are known as hole, vacancies or interstitial site, and the packing efficiency indirectly reflect about this unoccupied volume or about the occupied volume of particles. You may ask to calculate packing efficiency for simple unit cell, FCC or BCC. This is for simple unit cell. We know that in simple unit cell particles are placed at corners. Now the particles placed at corner, you can see in this one of the face of unit cell, the particles are placed at corner. And here you have to remember that all the particles of corner are in contact with each other. If we are discussing about simple unit cell, then the particle placed at corners are in contact with each other. This is, you can see, edge length, which is represented by small a, and you can also see in the diagram edge length is equals to twice of r, a equal to 2r. As per the diagram, you can say here r is radius of particle or radius of sphere and a is edge length. Now volume of unit cell is given by a cube. As it is a cube, the volume of cube is a cube, and a can be replaced by 2r, so you can also write this as 2r cube, or you can write 8r cube. Then volume of lattice point, because we know that these lattice points are spherical in shape, and the formula of sphere, volume of sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. There is only one particle per unit cell in simple unit cell. This we have calculated earlier. 8 corners, and the contribution of corner is 1 by 8. So number of particles per unit cell is only 1. So this is the total volume of particles. This is the volume of unit cell. When you use formula volume of lattice point to volume of unit cell, you can calculate packing efficiency. The r cube will cancel by r cube, and after calculating you will get the number 52.4%. This is the packing efficiency in case of simple unit cell. Same we can do for other two unit cells, like this is packing efficiency in FCC. We know that in FCC particles are placed at corners and one particle placed at center of unit cell. Now here the particle placed at corners are not in contact with each other, but all the particles placed at corners are in contact with the particle placed at center of face. You can also say that particle placed at face diagonal position are in contact with each other. Now once again, AB, distance AB is small a, edge length. So in this curve you can, in this diagram you can see here that distance AC, when we use Pythagoras theorem, distance AC can be given as a root 2. And once again look at here the diagram AC. From this point to this point, this is distance r, radius of atom. Then it is again r, radius of atom. This is again r, and this is again r. So in total AC equals to 4R, AC equals to a root 2 as per Pythagoras theorem. When you equalize this two, you can write a root 2 equals to 4R, or solve for a, it is 2 root 2R. Once again, volume of unit cell is given by same formula, a cube. This time a can be replaced by 2 root 2R, and therefore finally it is 16 root 2R cube. Volume of lattice point, sphere 4 by 3 pi r cube, this time multiplied by 4, as we know that number of particles per unit cell in FCC is 4. Now once again, when we divide them and multiplied by 100, you will get an answer 74%, and this is the packing efficiency in case of FCC, it is 74%. Next is packing efficiency in case of BCC. You know that BCC particles are placed at corners and one particle placed at center of unit cell. Once again, here particles placed at corners are not in contact with each other, but all the particles placed at corners are in contact with the particle placed at center of unit cell. You can also say here that particles placed at body diagonal position are in contact with each other here. These are three particles you can see here. They are at body diagonal position and they are in contact with each other. Similarly, the particle placed here at this corner, at center, and at this corner, they are also in contact. So all the particles placed at body diagonal position are in contact here. A, B, C, this is a right angle, and therefore if you use Pythagoras theorem, you can predict the distance between AC as a root 3. The distance edge length is once again small a, therefore AB will be a root 2, and finally AC equals to a root 3. And once again from the diagram you can see AC equals to 4 times of radius, it is 4R. You can solve for a, which is 4R upon root 3. Volume of unit cell is a cube. As usual, replace a by 4R upon root 3. You can write 64R cube divided by 3 root 3. Volume of lattice point is 4 by 3 pi r cube. This is formula to calculate volume of sphere, multiplied by 2. As we know that number of particles per unit cell in BCC is only 2, so its packing efficiency is 68%. So in this way you can have simple derivation based question, derive the packing efficiency for simple FCC and BCC unit cell. Now so far we have discussed how the particle look like in a small part, that is known as unit cell. Now we are going to discuss here how the particles look like as a whole. It means the packing of solid in 2 dimension, then in 3-dimensional structure. Now we know that so far that particles are as close as possible, and in 2 dimension these are 2 possible way of packing, way of arrangement. In the first structure you can see particles are aligned horizontally as well as vertically to each other. This is the first row of particle. The second row particle just occupy over first row. The particles of third row occupy just over second row, and therefore this is the first possible pattern. In second pattern you can see the first line or first row is as it is, but this time the particles of second row, they do not occupy just over, in fact they occupy in the depressions of first row. Similarly, the particle of third row occupy their position in depressions of second row. So these are 2 possibility in 2-dimensional structure. Now here if we connect 4 particles, look at here, this particle, it is surrounded by 4 particles, and because each particle here is directly connected with 4 particles, that's why its coordination number is 4. The coordination number is the number of particles to which one particle or one lattice point directly connected. Here coordination number is 4. Now if you connect this 4 point, then you will get a square structure, and therefore this particular packing is known as square close packing. Besides it, look at here this particle, or you can select any other particle. If you carefully look at here now this is surrounded by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 particles. Therefore its coordination number is 6. And if you connect all these 6 particles, you will see a hexagon here. Therefore this packing is known as hexagonal close packing. In fact, it is 2D hexagonal close packing. So there may be two possibilities, square close packing and hexagonal close packing. Here coordination number is 4, here coordination number is 6. Now out of these two, this is stable packing, this is more stable packing. The reason is, one, its coordination number is high, so each particle is bonded with more number of other particle, and second, its packing efficiency is also high. If you want to compare here packing efficiency, you can see this void. This void is surrounded by 4 particles, and this is also known as coordination number of void. So here coordination number of void is 4. You can see this void also, its coordination number is 4. It is surrounded by total 4 particles, 1, 2, 3 and 4. But if you see here the void, it is surrounded by only 3 particles, because here the void is surrounded by more number of particles. The space occupied by void is more, and if the space occupied by void is more, it means space occupied by particles is less, its packing efficiency is less, and therefore it is comparatively less stable. Here high packing efficiency, therefore it is higher stable. Now if we connect once again the center of this 4 lattice point which create this particular void, you can see once again a square structure. Therefore the void form here is known as square void. Its coordination number is 4. But here the void, if we connect this 3 point which create this particular void, it is a triangle shaped structure, and therefore the void is known as triangular void. So the coordination number of void is 3 here, coordination number of void is 4 here. Out of this two, the two-dimensional hexaclose packing structure is more stable because of more coordination number as well as comparatively higher packing efficiency. Now because this is more stable, so when you will study about packing in 3-dimensional structure, in 3D structure, so far we have draw here rows and column. In 3D structure we will draw some layer here. This is the first layer, over its second layer, then over its third layer. So when you draw first, second, third, fourth, fifth layer, each layer will have this hexagonal close packing structure, as this is more stable. So look at here how the hexagonal 2D hexagonal close packing convert into a 3D structure. You can see in these red particles, they are the particles of 2D hexagonal close structure. Now over it we will discuss here how the second layer form, then how the third layer is formed, and what is the relation between first layer, second layer, third layer and fourth layer. To discuss it, two options, two possibility when the second layer is formed. Look at here, these are the particles of first layer which you can see as red particles here. These are the particles of first layer, suppose. Now second layer, when the second layer form, there are two options. The first option, particle of second layer occupy their position. Now I am going to draw particle of second layer. Particles of second layer occupy their position just over particles of first layer. I repeat, this is the first possibility. Second layer occupy just over first layer, and another possibility is second layer occupy its position over this triangular void. Which do you think is better option? Which will provide more stability? The answer is second possibility will provide more stability. If the particle occupy over this void, then it will be more stable. The reason is, here again the coordination number will increase. If you keep one particle over this, then the particle of second layer is connected with only one particle of previous layer. But if you place the particle here, now it is bonded with 3 other particles of the previous layer. So more coordination number, as well as when we place this particle of second layer here, then it will reduce the volume of void, volume of triangular void, and therefore it will increase packing efficiency definitely. So conclusion is, particle of second layer definitely occupy their position over the triangular void. So now I am going to draw here the particles of second layer with the help of green color. So you can see here, this is the first particle of second layer, and you can see this is occupied over this triangular void. Similarly, this is another particle. This is also occupied over this triangular void. This is third particle, occupy over next triangular void. So here you can see all the green particles occupy over this triangular, and over this triangular void. This is one row, the first row of second layer. Similarly, now I am going to draw the second row of second layer. Once again, you can see the position of this particle. This is occupy over triangular void. Here it occupy over this void, and in this way the second layer will construct. And if you have a close vision here, you can see the particles, the green particles also have hexagonal two-dimensional arrangement. Now once the second layer is formed, now you can see carefully look at here, you can see two type of voids after formation of second layer. If you can see, just have a close look here, you can see here two type of void. One void surrounded by 6 particles and other void surrounded by total 4 particles. Can you see? Just look at here this particular void. Now this void surrounded by in total 4 particles now. 1 particle, that is red particle of first layer, and 3 particles green particle, which are the particles of second layer. You can see here, this is the red particles of first layer. Here I isolated this particular for better understanding, and over it you can see 3 more particles of second layer, and the void form here is now surrounded by 4 particles. If you connect the center of all these 3 particles, the 3 particles are like this of green particle, and 1 particle red particle is just behind it. If you connect all these 4 points, it will be a tetrahedral structure, and therefore the void is known as tetrahedral void with coordination number 4. It is surrounded by total 4 particles. So once again you can see here this void, again its coordination number is 4. It is surrounded by 3 green particle and 1 red particle just behind it. Similarly, you can see the other type of void. Look at here this particular void. Look at here this particular void, and now count to how many particles this void is surrounded. Here the void is surrounded by total 6 particles, and you can see this view. 3 particles, 3 red particles of first layer, 3 green particle of second layer, and the void form is now surrounded by 6 particles. If you connect once again center of this 6, you will get an octahedral structure. Therefore the void is known as octahedral void with coordination number 6. So after formation of second layer, we can have here 2 type of void. One is tetrahedral void. You can see here this is tetrahedral void. It is surrounded by total 4 particles, its coordination number is 4, and this is octahedral void. It is surrounded by total 6 particles. This is octahedral void. It is surrounded by 6 particles. Interestingly, now when the third layer will appear over second layer, once again, like here we have discussed, the particle of next layer should occupy over void. So particles of third layer should also occupy over void, but now once again it will have 2 options. The third layer particles can occupy over tetrahedral void, as well as the particles can occupy over octahedral void also. And in this way we will have 2 different type of packing after formation of 3D structure. The first possibility, look at here, if particles occupy over tetrahedral void. So here you can see tetrahedral void. Now if particle, this is the first layer, I hope you remember this is first layer red particles, second layer green particle. The void is tetrahedral void. Now if particles of third layer occupy over this tetrahedral void, then you can see the first and third particle are 100% identical in their arrangement. Here also you can see if particles occupy over tetrahedral void, you can see this tetrahedral void. If the particle over tetrahedral void, then you can't distinguish between first and third layer. They are 100% identical. Here also this is tetrahedral void, and the particle of first and third layer are 100% identical. Conclusion is, if the particles occupy over tetrahedral void, then first and third layer are 100% identical. Now in case first and third is identical, obviously the second layer and fourth layer is also identical. So this type of solid may have infinite layers, but it has only two type of layer. As the first and third is identical, obviously the second and fourth is identical, so it has only two type of layer, and this is known as AB 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 pattern. So only two type of layer in case particles occupy over tetrahedral voids. But if particles occupy over octahedral void, so here you can see, if I keep one particle over octahedral void, you can see this particle of third layer is neither identical to green particle nor identical to red particle. The position of this particle is totally different as compared to first and second layer. Here you can also see one of the octahedral void, this is octahedral void, and if I keep one particle over this octahedral void, it is not identical to first layer or second layer. So you can say here, if particles occupy over octahedral void, then the third layer is different as compared to first and second layer. This type of pattern is known as ABC ABC ABC. In fact, it has three different type of layers. So two type of voids are formed. It is octahedral void with coordination number 6, tetrahedral void with coordination number 4. If particles occupy over tetrahedral void, then first and third layer is identical, and because first and third layer is identical, its pattern is known as ABAB, and chemically this is known as HCP. It is hexagonal close packing, 3D hexagonal close packing. And ABC ABC, this is known as CCP. It is cubic close packing structure. Now one interesting point here, the voids are formed in the second layer. It is tetrahedral void and octahedral void, and the differentiation between HCP and CCP takes place in third layer. This means both of these two type of packing have same type and same number of voids, that is octahedral void and tetrahedral void. Therefore both have same packing efficiency, that is 74%. This is the packing efficiency for both HCP as well as CCP. Another point, what is coordination number of particle? So here you can see, if this is first layer, then green will be second layer, then once again red will be third layer. Here you can see just over and just above and below, you can see the same type of pattern as in AB AB AB. Just above it as well as below it, they have same type of pattern. Just above A you will found B layer, just below A you will found B layer. It means just over this red particle you will have green particles, just below this red particle once again you will have green particle. So this red particle is surrounded by total 6 green particles, 3 above it and 3 below it. I repeat, this red particle, this shaded particle is surrounded by total 6 particles, 3 above it, 3 below it, and if you see here, this red particle is surrounded by 6 other red particles in its same plane. So in total its coordination number is 12, 3 above it, 6 in its own plane and 3 below it. So in this way coordination number of this type of packing is 12. Similarly, the coordination number of this is also 12. It means both have same coordination number. Once again you can see this shaded particle, it is surrounded by 3 green particles, or if you can't see the color I am drawing here, this shaded particle is surrounded by this first, second and third. Suppose this is just below it, so just over it, it will be now red particles. So you can see the shaded particle is surrounded by 3 particles below it, 3 particles above it, and once again each and every layer has 2-dimensional hexagonal close packing. So just like here green is surrounded by 6 green, red is surrounded by 6 green is red. Similarly, this shaded also surrounded by 6 other shaded particles. It means 6 particle in its own plane. Again, the coordination number is 12. So no need to remember this diagram for exam. You have to remember only outcome, because you cannot draw such diagram in the exam. So this is not for examination point of view. You just need to remember this outcome. Two type of packing in 3D structure: hexagonal close packing, that is known as HCP, and cubic close packing, that is known as CCP. This has two type of layer, AB pattern, and this is ABC pattern. Here particles occupy over tetrahedral void, here particles occupy over octahedral void. Coordination number and packing efficiency is same for both type of pattern. Now this is most important as far as numerical concerned. The ratio between lattice point, octahedral void and tetrahedral void in FCC, CCP or HCP is. So you have to remember this ratio between number of particles, octahedral void and tetrahedral void. It is 1:1:2. This is most important for us as per examination point of view. So whether it is CCP, HCP, hexagonal close packing, or FCC, FCC means face centered unit cell, in all the three type of packing pattern, the ratio between particles, octahedral void and tetrahedral void is 1:1:2. So this we have to remember. Based on this, you have now some questions here. The first question: in CCP structure, it may be HCP also, it may be FCC also, the answer will not have any difference. So in this structure, suppose oxide occupy regular positions of crystal. Regular positions of crystal means this is FCC, it means the particles placed at corners and center of phases. This means regular position. And metal in octahedral void. Now determine its empirical formula. Before we proceed further, remember one thing: in ionic compound, one of the ion, generally it is anion because of big size, one of the ion occupy regular position of crystal. Say for example, it is FCC and this is NaCl. NaCl has FCC structure. So we all know that NaCl has two type of particle, it is Na plus and Cl minus. Can you identify out of this 5 which is sodium and which is chloride? There are two positions of particle, one is center of phase and other is corners. Can you identify which is sodium and which is chloride here? Now the right answer is all this particle, corners as well as center of phase, so far is chloride. Now the sodium is placed in the void because sodium is small, it is cation, it is smaller in size, so sodium will be placed in void. You can see a partial void here. Later on we'll discuss in detail about this void, but the position of sodium will be this one, it is inside the void. Here also it is position of sodium, it is inside the void. So generally anion at regular positions and cation in the void because cations are generally smaller. So here also the question is given oxide at regular position and metal in tetrahedral voids. You have to determine its empirical formula. Because oxide at regular position, you can start let oxygen is 1. You can assume oxygen is X. You can assume oxygen is 4. Oxygen is Na, whatever. But because we have to calculate empirical formula, which is the simplest whole number ratio, it will not make any difference in the final answer. So let oxygen is 1. As per question, metal in tetrahedral void. So because metal in tetrahedral void, particle of oxygen is 1. So tetrahedral void should be 2. We have discussed the ratio between particle and tetrahedral void is 1:2. So one particle of oxygen, double will be tetrahedral void. As per question, metal in tetrahedral voids, it means the number of metal is also 2. So 1 oxygen, 2 metal, the empirical formula will be M2O. I repeat, 1 oxygen, octahedral void will be 1, tetrahedral void will be 2 as per the ratio 1:1:2. So 2 tetrahedral void, as per question, metal in tetrahedral void, and therefore the formula is M2O. One more question for you now. In CCP, oxide at regular position, this time metal 75% of octahedral void. Determine empirical formula. Once again start with oxide, which is regular position, let oxygen is 1. This time metal in octahedral void. So octahedral void is also 1. The ratio is 1:1. As per the question, metal occupy only 75% of octahedral void. So 1 multiplied by 75 upon 100. This is the number of metal. As per question, it is 75% octahedral void. Now you can write M3/4 and O1, or it is M3O4. This is empirical formula of solid. One more example. This time oxide regular position of HCP, metal 75% of tetrahedral void. Determine empirical formula. Once again oxide, let it is 1. This time it is tetrahedral void, so tetrahedral voids will be just double, it is 2. 75% of tetrahedral void, once again it is 75 upon 100. You can solve it is 3/4. Further you can solve it is 3/2. So this time metal is 3/2, oxygen is 1, and therefore empirical formula is M3O2. Now a reverse question. This time you are given chromium chloride. You are given empirical formula. You are also given it has HCP structure. Once again it may be FCC, HCP or CCP. It will not make any difference. All three are same for us with respect to particles and type of void. So empirical formula is given. It is chromium chloride. Chloride occupy regular position. Once again anion occupy regular position. Chromium inside octahedral void. In octahedral void, you need to find out percentage of octahedral void occupied by chromium. So earlier we are given how much percentage of metal occupied, but this time you need to find out what percent of octahedral void occupied by chromium. Now once again we will start with assumption with the particle which is placed at regular position. This is chloride. So far we assume one particle which is at regular position. This time to make simple mathematical calculation, you have to assume the same number of particles of anion which is given in the empirical formula. Like here it is CrCl3, so assume chloride particle as 3. It will reduce your mathematical calculation. So whatever number is given here for anion, the particle which is at regular position, assume same number here. Chloride is 3. Now if chloride is 3, as per question chromium in octahedral void, so octahedral void should also 3. The ratio is 1:1. So if 3 particles, 3 octahedral void also. Now here we have 3 chloride, 3 void, but number of chromium is only 1. Therefore only 1 chromium can be placed out of 3 total octahedral void, and you can say it is 33.33% of void occupied by chromium. I repeat, as per formula there are 3 chloride. Here also we have selected 3 chloride. If there are 3 chloride, there must be 3 octahedral void, but number of chromium is only 1. Therefore it is 1 out of 3 occupied, or you can say it is 33.33% void occupied. One more question for you. You can see here it is this time M2O5, oxide at regular position, M in tetrahedral void, and once again you need to calculate percentage of tetrahedral void occupied by metal. So start with assumption of oxygen. Let oxygen is 5 because the empirical formula says M2O5. As per question metal in tetrahedral void, so number of tetrahedral voids will be just double, it is 10, and the number of voids are 10, but you can see here metal is only 2. So 2 metals out of 10 voids occupied, and the answer is it is only 20% voids occupied by metal. Last problem based on same M2O3, oxygen at FCC and metal in octahedral void. It is FCC, it is octahedral void. 3 part you have to calculate percentage of octahedral void occupied by metal. percentage of total void occupied by metal, and percentage of tetrahedral void occupied by metal. So same one question, but this time 3 part in this question. So let oxygen is 3 here as per the formula, and if oxygen is 3, then octahedral voids will be 3, tetrahedral voids will be 6, and therefore the total voids will be 9. Total voids are 9 here. So metal occupy octahedral void as per the question. Percentage of octahedral void occupied by metal, formula says number of metal is 2 and total octahedral voids are 3 here. So it is 2 by 3 into 100, 66.66% occupied by metal. Percentage of total voids, so once again formula says number of metal is 2, total voids are 9, 3 for octahedral and 6 for tetrahedral, total voids are 9. This is percentage of total voids occupied by metal. And percentage of tetrahedral void occupied by metal, here answer is 0. So use chemistry here, don't use here mathematics. As per question, metal occupy octahedral void, metal doesn't occupy any tetrahedral void in this question. Next point, it is radius ratio. Now so far we have discussed a number of questions. In some of the questions metal occupy octahedral void, in some other questions metal occupy tetrahedral void. Now whether the metal occupy octahedral void, tetrahedral void or any other type of void, which particular factor, which particular property of atom should decide this? Then answer is, it is radius of both cation as well as anion. And this is expressed by the term radius ratio, which says radius of cation to radius of anion, or it is radius of void to radius of sphere. Now how the radius of cation and anion decide the type of void, you can see with the example. Look at here, this 2 type of packing, 4 anions and here also 4 anion. The coordination number of void is same 4. Now here this cation can occupy this particular void, but this cation cannot occupy this particular void. So it doesn't depend only on size of anion, it depends on size of cation also, that whether it able to occupy the void or not. Similarly, now this cation can occupy this void also. So it depends on both size of anion as well as size of cation, which particular cation occupy the particular type of void, and this can be calculated or expressed by term radius ratio. Now how can we derive this radius ratio? It is radius of void to radius of sphere. Look at here, first octahedral void. In octahedral void you can see 4 particles are in contact. One particle will be just over this void, one particle will be just below this void. Somehow it looks like this. These are 4 particles which you can see here, and one particle below it and one particle above it. Then after it will be a perfect octahedral shape, as you have discussed about SF6 in class 11th. This is SF6, 4 particles in same plane, one fluorine above it and one fluorine below it. So similarly here, this is the structure. Now let this is edge length A. So AC equals to A root 2. As per Pythagoras theorem, AC equals to A root 2. Now this A is also equals to capital R, which is radius of sphere, or you can say this is radius of anion. This is capital R. So capital R and A, you can see the relation between small a edge length and R. Small a equals to 2R, and therefore because small a equals to 2R here, you can replace this A by 2R, and therefore AC equals to 2 root 2R. This is equation number 1. Now this is capital R, radius of anion. This is small r, radius of cation. Again small r, again capital R. So here you can write AC equals to twice of R plus R. This is twice of capital R and twice of small r, so twice of R plus R. Equation number 2. Now compile equation 1 and 2, equalize them. When you equalize them, you can write root 2R. This 2 will cancel by 2, so root 2R equals to R plus R. divide by capital R here, and when you divide them by capital R, you can find here only root 2, which you can see here root 2. Once we divide by capital R, here also we divide by capital R, and it becomes 1 plus R upon R. So finally R upon R equals to root 2 minus 1, which is 0.414. So here the radius ratio for octahedral void, the radius of cation to radius of anion for octahedral void should be 0.414. Similarly, next for cubic void. In cubic void, the particles are in contact with each other. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 4 particles of opposite phase are also in contact in same way, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that in cube there are 2 opposite phases. This is the first phase, and just over it this is the second phase. So in this way 8 particles are connected, and at the center we can see here a void, and this void is known as cubic void. So this is the picture of cubic void. Here once again you can see A equal to 2R. The particles of corner are in contact with each other, and AC equals to here A root 3. It is body diagonal position. A can be replaced by 2R, so it is 2 root 3R. In term of radius, once again you can write AC equal to twice of R plus R. Equalize this two. Once again 2 cancel by 2. Divide by capital R. So it is 1 plus R upon R equal to root 3, or it is 0.732. So here the radius ratio is more as compared to octahedral void, 0.732. And now for tetrahedral void. In tetrahedral void, once again this is AC. You can see AC equals to A root 3.